Who are you? What do you
Where
do?
are you guys from?
I'm from here. Well, I'm from LA.
LA, right?
LA represent.
I'm from Maryland.
Hello,
How you doing?
Sean.
Demetrius.
And you're from what?
Nice to meet
Illinois?
you.
Phoenix and Seattle.
Seattle. Phoenix and Seattle.
How you doing?
Good, thank you.
And you're from?
From Tucson.
Oh, Arizona people.
Arizona.
So ask your questions, everybody.
Sandwiched in between the desert.
Ask your questions. I always ask
You're
mine.
Sean Callery from Jessica Jones.
Yes, I am.
Okay. First question with Jessica Jones is, what exactly was your motivation for the music that you had?
Well, from the beginning of the seasons, they always wanted this sort of jazz noir kind of energy for the show. They wanted to be very different from other.
Cage.
Yeah, I mean, everyone has their own little flavor, and I was surprised because a jazz kind of language for a show is it's a bit exotic, for some of our stuff, but it's now becoming more diverse. It's more acceptable. You'll notice if you listen to that show, you'll never hear more than 4 or 5 instruments at once. Piano, bass, guitar, drums, upright bass. Sometimes there's sound design and stuff like that, but
Very noir-y, actually.
huh?
Very noir-y.
It was very noir-y. Yeah, they wanted
Inventing
the
words.
Because I think a lot of jazz composers, one in particular, likes to have his music exceptionally high.
Yes.
And it makes it's kind of distracting. What made you think that, okay, was that a consideration
Well,
for us?
that's a great question, because if the music is doing something, if the music's hot, you can have music that can play loud, but if it's getting in the way of the story, if it's getting in the way of the drama, it doesn't matter. And if it's getting in the way of the dialogue, it's game over because no one cares, no one can hear anything. So I had to be very, very understated, and Jessica's theme is very much like a cat. Da-da-da, da-da-da, da-da-da. It's a kind of a sneaky kind of sound. And what Jenna said during the talk about the Emmy Award for Marvel was for the main title, which was really cool for Marvel, and it was cool for me because it was a different kind of main title. And so the jazz part has to be very, very careful not to get too dense and too crazy, because then you're bringing broad out the story.
Yeah, I like what you said about the cat, because I did think about that in the retro, but then it goes to that really up-tempo part.
That driving.
I kind of took that as, is that the craziness and franticness of her life that she can't seem to get in order? Or?
I think that's a fair statement. I mean, I think underneath the sort of part of her that's refined and sneaky and elegant, the cat sort of thing. I'm using broad terms here. But then there's a bit of aggression underneath. There's a lot of aggression, and I didn't plan this, but if you look at the main title, the strobes, the lighting starts to strobe, and the people start to run more. The editing's a lot choppier. Now I didn't see that before I wrote that theme. I went right from the first part into the aggressive part, but then when we married it to the video, it kind of
Just worked out.
It kind of worked out. Sometimes you get really lucky, and she's so compelling. An actress, and her eye in the end was really gorgeous. It was great. And she directed. The second episode of the season, of season 3, the one where Trish becomes. She discovers her powers as Hellcat.
So Hellcat. Would you like a granola?
I will take a granola.
That's my other question.
That is a first for me.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Offered sustenance.
Well, you're our first interview today, so I might as well give you something nice. Other than my magazine, and these guys are cool. So go ahead and ask your questions.
Thank you. You're done? That's cool. No, it's okay.
Go ahead, ask your questions. I always ask.
Were there any times where you felt like you were overwhelmed in what was happening between the story and marrying everything together?
Yes, sure. And that happens, to be brutally honest, when you're finding the sound of the show. That's where it's the most exciting, but it's also where you're at your most sort of frightened, if you will, because you're working for people. You produce ideas, and you want the ideas to be strong. And you're like, I think this is good. Then you send it off, and then you have to wait till you hear back. Do they love it? Is it okay? And then when they love it, you're like, great, but we want to change it, or if it's not quite there. And Marvel's a very smart studio. They know their properties very well, so they knew exactly they knew what her look was going to be. They knew what the buildings were going to be. They knew the offices, and they had a very strong idea about music. And we found that sort of beautiful color. That kind of it got darker over the years.
You mean purple?
Say what?
You mean purple? You said colors like purple.
Well,
like purple?
He was the best. I mean,
he was the best.
He was the best.
Yeah.
I mean, I knew when.
Well, David Tennant steals everything he's in. Come on.
He's, when I worked on his, first of all, you didn't see him till episode 3 or 4.
Yeah.
He was only implied in flashbacks and voice, so you had to sort of find his sound before you even saw him. And then he's still in her head even in season 3.
Well, yeah,
I mean, look,
it was a nice throwback at the very end.
Yeah.
I wish, how do you say you wish the villain didn't go away? Because then you're
Well, especially when you made one of the lamest Marvel villains, in my opinion. Like, name-wise. Okay. You call him Kilgrave, but the character's literally fucking called Purple Man. And if you actually saw, like, because the reason why I know who Purple Man is because back when they used to have the Marvel, like, handbooks, like the little guidebooks, like, he was just listed as Purple Man.
right.
Yeah, and they called him Purple Man because he had purple skin, he wore a purple outfit, he had purple eyes, and he's a would-be conqueror. Purple Man. You made Purple Man relevant.
Yeah, well, how about, look when that show came out. I mean, I think that show,
But you made Purple Man.
Let me speak.
Sorry.
well, I went out with that show. I finished that show about 9 months before the first, when the Me Too movement.
Yeah. So when it was still good.
It was really emerging.
Yeah.
And that whole storyline was about her being traumatized at the hands of a guy who basically took advantage of her and rendered her powerless. And it was sort of extraordinary how the timing of that story. And I think Melissa Rosenberg, our writer, just sort of knew she had the pulse of what was coming. All good shows have the pulse of what's coming, right? I mean,
Well, that's why we got 3 seasons of this, and everybody else got cut out.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean I don't understand the business part of it, but I was happy to be part of it.
Well, you're awesome. I love your theme music. I like out of all the theme music of all the Marvel Netflix shows, you're the one that actually stood out. Daredevil, forgettable. Punisher, music-wise, forgettable. Power Man, Iron Fist, forgettable. Your music, I still know your music. All done. Ask your questions, everybody.
I thank you for your comments. I thank you.
Welcome.
Now, did you do the music in the episode where Luke and Jessica had the reunion?
At the end of season 3, yeah.
I thought, tell me about that, because I was like, oh wow, Luke, and then you're like, they're in some really different places in their life now from where they first started.
When you watch the show, when you watch it for the first time, your reaction is my reaction. Like I'm watching it for the first time, like you do as a fan. So when the elevator door opened, because I hadn't read that script, and I saw him, like, oh man, like familiar. I actually felt warm. Like I felt, an ally, because I really liked his character in the Jessica Jones series. I didn't watch much of Luke Cage, unfortunately, but when he was there, he was sort of you feel a sense of kinship that they've been on a journey together, and there they were, sort of giving each other some and she needed some much needed advice, so that was a really good not advice, but just some support, and I think he gave her that, and that felt great, and the music was very, very delicate there. We had to work on that scene very hard. I wish I could say it gets easier doing what we do, but it doesn't. It really, because first of all, and I mean this as a compliment, the audiences do not suffer fools. When you see something that isn't feeling authentic, you guys check out right away. I mean, you got to really earn. I'm not saying that every show you worked on before the internet was faulty, but I'm just saying there's a level of. The level of TV has been so up, in my view, in the last 12, 15 years.
Well, we gotta cut this short because it's close.
So, that's all you are.
Hit me.
You were so helpful last round.
Yeah! Like, you even gave me shit for, like, going on a rant, so, good, whatever.
Well, okay, so talk about your process. How does it work with does the studio send you notes, and you have to, kind of work on it? How does it work?
So first of all, they send me the episode, and you kind of watch through it, and you get a general idea. There'll be temp music in there, so they'll just take other soundtracks from other shows and other movies and temp them in to give an idea of the general vibe, and then we'll go and have a spotting session where we sit down with the director. If it's a movie, it's director. On TV, it's producers, showrunners, and you just literally talk through the episode about what emotion the music is playing here and what you want the music to function as in various spots. And sometimes it's super important, and sometimes it's literally just adding pace to keep things moving along. And And then I go away and I write the episode and I'll send it back to them maybe a week later. And then we all get together again for a music review. And yeah, we just review and they give me notes. The showrunners, producers, director, and then it goes to Amazon and then they give their round of notes. Well, a lot of notes. So yeah, they give their notes and they do the notes and then record whatever needs to be recorded, mix it, and deliver.
So what's harder? Is the like underlying music that isn't as like overstated harder, or is the build up music harder to kind of like figure
I think
out?
probably the important moments, musical moments, are probably more difficult, but they're definitely more fun to do. Yeah.
Do you find yourself getting emotionally invested in anything that you watch? So that does that make your music better, or does it detract from it?
It's definitely good to have an emotional connection with the scene, and yeah, I feel like that helps to write.
Have you ever been on a show where you're just like, this is bad writing, and I really don't want to, this is just terrible, but I'll just, here, take it, like, have you ever
I'm gonna say no. While the cameras are on.
Hey, you've done a lot, so it can allude to anything. But okay, I
But there
understand.
can be times where you'll get a scene and the temp music that's in there is just terrible, and it's not just not telling the story, it's actually telling the wrong story, or it's giving a different vibe that suddenly it feels creepy, and it's not. It's supposed to be like a warm moment, but it's just the wrong temp music. So that can happen.
Is there a specific style of music that you prefer over others?
I tend to write more kind of orchestral, organic music kind of stuff.
Okay.
I'm classically trained and I just grew up learning all of that. So yeah, came from like a super musical family and we all played different instruments, and so I'm just used to kind of jamming and yeah.
So what instruments do you play?
My main instrument is the piano, and then as most composers, you kind of make an instrument out of everything. So, like I went to a flea market a few weeks ago and just picked up this, I think it's called a tongue drum, and it's just like this big steel, kind of like a steel drum with a lid, and I ended up recording it on the score, and once you get it into your system, you can like kind of auto-tune it, like mess with it, put various plugins on, and totally change it. That's the funnest part.
Do you go out of your way a little bit to get like strange sounds from out of it?
Yeah, so it's because you get, most composers, as I'm sure you guys know, you work with this like kind of limited set of sample libraries, so everyone kind of ends up sounding the same if you end up using the same things over and over. So it's really cool to just pop open a microphone and record some random sound, get it in your system, mess with it, create a completely different sound from what I recorded, and yeah, we did that a bit on Undone. I'm not a singer at all, but I recorded myself singing on the score, and it's not singing in terms of melodic singing, but it's like vocal effects and just some weird mouth sounds, and use those as percussion and stuff like that. So and that's really fun because you're taking something new. It sounds different, and no one has that sample, and it just sounds unique to the show. Yeah.
So, do you find yourself working better when you have more time, or do you find that when they sit there and say, "You've got a week to figure this out"? What works better for you?
Yeah,
under pressure.
I think I'm better under pressure. If you have a month, it'll take you a month, right?
Right.
If you have a week, it'll take you a week. So, yeah. I like the pressure sometimes.
And I know that's tough, though. I know at least from a writing standpoint, you get to that point of I'm just meeting the deadline,
Right.
but this isn't my best stuff, as opposed to, wow, look at my best stuff came out under
There's
pressure.
probably a happy medium in there
Yeah.
somewhere where you have enough time to really explore something and you're not just slamming it, close next session and move on. But pressure can be good. I think it forces you to make decisions and just move on, and maybe it forces you to make a decision you wouldn't have made if you'd had all of the time to,
Revise and revise and
Exactly.
revise.
Yeah.
What's the weirdest thing that you've made out of an instrument, or an instrument out of?
I've recorded or just used sounds of like birds. I did a horror movie a few years ago that I had a pig squealing. Yeah, and I found this pig squealing sample online and
Well, we gotta wrap it up. So
Thank you.
she was a really shitty host of the roundtable.
If you could, names and projects you're affiliated with.
Gianni Paolo. I was in Ma and the TV show Power.
Right.
Ah, okay. Cool. Look it.
So, anyways, as far as is this your first convention?
Yeah, this is my first Comic-Con.
Mine too. No. I'm here by luck. So, but anyways, how's the experience been so far? I mean, has it been overwhelming, or is it just too early to tell?
I would say too early to tell, but it's amazing. I mean, they're such a loyal fan base. It's amazing to see this many people come together for the same thing.
Yeah, for me it seems a little too early to tell, but immediately I was like, this is 100 times bigger than I thought.
Yeah.
It's insane. Like, I thought it was just kind of like maybe a couple rooms with like a bunch of people. Like, this is wild.
Have you ever been to any other conventions?
Never, no. This is like my first kind of.
This is your first?
So, yeah, imagine your first convention in San Diego.
Oh man.
Okay.
So I'm just thrown right into it.
Get as much sleep during the day as you can.
Yes.
Right? And from what I understand,
It's crazy at night.
Yeah.
You wanted me to say.
And if you have problems being pushed around, bumped, and touched, don't go to the main floor.
Okay,
Just
cool.
that. They cram them in there.
I'll keep that in mind.
But it's awesome though.
Cool.
Stay in the AC and basically everything. All the good stuff is actually at home. So
Nice. Cool.
you're at the right spot.
Awesome. Nice.
what kind of fandoms do you all have? If you have any.
Say that again.
Your fandoms, like, do you have any fandoms of your own?
Yeah, I was like a huge Lord of the Rings fan in high school, middle school. I read all the books, and now, I mean, I love Game of Thrones and Harry Potter.
So the high fantasy stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I like the Harry Potter world. You know, that's kind of one of my favorites. I've never seen a Star Wars movie, so I know that's like weird to say and go to Comic-Con.
No.
But yeah, I'm kind of just getting into the Marvel universe too, which I like. So I just saw Spider-Man; it was great. So
Which one?
the newest
new
one
one.
that just came out.
Homecoming.
Yeah.
Far from home.
Yeah, far from home. You know what I like about the new Spider-Man movie? I like the promotion they're doing. You know what it is? Limited edition blueberry Dr. Pepper.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Oh, it's so tasty. Yeah, that's all the thing good about it is a blueberry Dr. Pepper.
Nice.
I'm done. Carry on, guys.
Okay, so as far as this being your first convention ever, is there anything that you're excited to see, that you want to see? Have you been given like schedules to people who might be here that you want to see?
I'm interested in checking out The Boys.
Yeah.
Hey, we're doing that. We're doing that.
You guys are doing that?
Yep.
I went to the activation yesterday and couldn't. I think we started with The Expanse, and that took a while to get through.
Okay.
But the boys are here is like a good thing to
It was
get
really
into.
good.
Was it?
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Is it
you watched
like
it yet?
interactive?
Yeah, so it's like an escape room. You go in and then you have to like find clues and help them like kind of sort through it. Yeah, it's a lot.
I saw something smoking coming out of that room. I was like,
Oh, really? Yeah, I'm going to that.
that's gonna be
Yeah.
And that's often the hardest thing is, you know, we tell people we could bring 25 people here and you still would only scratch the surface of all the stuff. I mean, it's just too much.
So much.
And every year there's more and more, and that's what's so beautiful
I
about
was
it.
looking at the schedule last night and I was like, our thing's at 10, and I was like, wait, all these things
These
are
are
at
at
10.
10.
There's so many things.
Right.
I want to see the, the SpongeBob thing. I
Oh,
want to
yeah.
see John Kenny.
You were talking the one on the main floor?
Yeah,
Yeah.
It's the birthday bash or something.
Yep.
I would definitely want to see that. And as an actor, I wanted to go see Walking Dead and Westworld, like Aaron Paul and
Yep.
Norman Reedus and those guys. So I just like to hear like what they have to say about their process and acting and stuff like that. So that's something I'm looking forward to.
As talent, do you find yourself having a hard time to navigate everything, or being able to get into anything, or do they look at you like, I don't know who you are, go away?
I don't know. I feel like maybe you get a little leeway if they do know who you are, but I feel like you could go into any type of panel or thing and learn something as an actor. Like I just moderated the music panel and it was like I learned so much that I already didn't know. So I feel like you can learn anything.
I actually haven't. We just got here this morning, so I haven't tried to get in anywhere. We'll see.
Where you come in from?
LA, yeah.
So you're not far.
Yeah.
Yeah, where we're from.
So, can you elaborate on some of the stuff that you learned during the panel, like moderating the panel?
I'll go first. Yeah, so seeing there were actually two panels that talked about how on their shows they had actors play the piano but no music under it, and they said it's like one of the hardest things in the world because they have to do it backwards to where they have to match it up, and then different cuts still needs to make sense. So I didn't realize how hard that would actually be. Like it apparently looked like a nightmare. So that's something that I learned, and I was like, okay, I definitely won't do that.
It was interesting to hear David speak because I wasn't completely clear on what a music editor did and how they work with the composer and how they have to factor in so many different sound effects and dialogue and all of that. So that was really interesting.
Do you guys play instruments at all?
I play the guitar.
I don't. Yeah, I want to learn how to play the piano though.
YouTube helps a lot.
Yeah. I know, everything's on YouTube now.
I learned to do all my skills, or he learned to do all the skills he taught me, and then I had my wife.
Nice.
Seeing behind the scenes
Wrap it up.
of the composing side of it, do you find yourself wanting to do anything else more than just acting? Or you like want to, learn how to produce in order to have a certain ear? Do you find yourself thinking on that level of elevating your talent?
Yeah, I do. I think about that a lot, but definitely listening to these people who are experts and hearing how they work with the director and the whole process it makes me more and more interested in the process as a whole.
Yeah, I've always wanted to direct. I think it's super cool to just kind of immerse yourself in the whole world, and you kind of have to be in control of everything. So you have to learn everything. You have to learn how to, direct the music and everything, even the writing on set. So it kind of comes to something that's like fully immerse yourself in the creative something. So. Okay. Yeah.
I love your synthwave shit, man. That's fucking awesome.
Oh, thanks.
Sorry,
What
stop.
did you write it on? I've been curious about that.
So I'm the music editor on Stranger Things. So I work with the composers, Kyle and Mike, on the show.
I'm just trying to figure out if they used an 80s era synthesizer or if it was a new one.
No, they used an 80s era.
That's what I thought.
Yeah.
Casio too?
I'm sure they got some. Yeah, I know they have some cast.
Would you like a fruit bar?
Sure, I'll fruit.
For you.
Thanks. I love fruit bars.
Okay.
Yeah. This is the best interview yet.
Okay. So between Stranger Things and Game of Thrones, what was was it a hard shift between each show?
It seems like it would be a hard shift, but it's actually it's refreshing for me because it's like I could and both shows were in post production at the same time. So we were working on Game of Thrones, and I was running across the street and then working, fixing a music cue on Stranger Things, and then running back. So that was to me refreshing because I could switch gears and
So you didn't have any kind of like bleed over where
I should have accidentally slipped some vintage synth stuff into the Game of Thrones.
that would be awesome. It would have been the same as a water bottle or a Starbucks.
Did you watch the honest trailer of Stranger Things?
Yeah.
Did you see the part where they bring up about skip intro? They're like, no, I love this music. Sorry, I had to bring it up. Sorry, Spawn. Sorry,
It's
watch
the only one you
Yeah, I don't skip that. That's cool. I wish it was longer, to be honest with you. I think it's way too short.
Well, I listen to a lot of synthwave, like when I construct things. So what I listen to is you're my top thing I listen to. like literally, I listen to the whole thing. And there's this one thing by DJ, who the fuck it is, but it starts off with your thing, and it's like they call it the Stranger Things mix, and they start with that, and they have 5 different remixes of your stuff.
Cool.
So go ahead.
So piggybacking off of that, do you have a specific music or genre that you dial into in order to cleanse, get a palate cleanser from everything that you work with?
Not really. I mean, I love music and I love film scores. I love the way music's used in TV and film. So that gives me I sort of have a broad liking of all sorts of music. I mean, Stranger Things has definitely inspired me to look back again at the past in the 80s and to go on a deep dive of things that maybe I had missed, because I grew up listening to all the Duran Duran Human League songs that we know, but I was like, well, what happened? The Human League album I love, they put out 2 records before that I don't ever listen to. So I've been sort of doing that lately, finding out what
deep dive into history.
Yeah, history. Yeah.
So what do you listen to now?
Yeah.
We just started bringing the cult back, which we hadn't listened to in a while. We're like, oh, wow, that stuff was awesome.
Especially all the
Why
stuff.
did we stop listening to it?
Well, but the new album sucks though.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
The new Cult album?
The new Cult.
2016 it came out.
Okay.
No, October. The new one that came out in October.
Yeah. So I mean, now I'm in this sort of same synthwave kind of. I've been listening to that too. I mean, I enjoy like going on Spotify and finding playlists. Same with SoundCloud too. They have a lot of synthwave artists and people that are going on that sort of early '80s deep dive, playing vintage synths. And what I've started because I have a band too called Dream System 8, which we used like all the same synthesizers that like the Human League used when they recorded Dare. And that was sort of our goal as well. So from working on Stranger Things, I got inspired with their, all the stuff they were doing with the score. That we.
Have you heard of the band Nightclub? They did the music for. Remember that show that was one time called Moonbeam City? That was like a very like Duran Duran artwork, like cartoon.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the guys who do the music. They're called Nightclub.
Okay.
And they're playing at Bar Sinister's anniversary on August 10th.
Really?
Give me a heads up, because you're LA guys.
I am, yeah.
Yeah, Bar Sinister's 21st anniversary, August 10th. They're playing it.
All right.
Give me a heads up, you're a synthwave guy. So.
I'm way into it. Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead, guys. Sorry.
You said Dare. Are we talking
Dare.
about? Yeah, you said the song Dare, right?
It's an album.
It's an album.
That's the album. Because the first thing that came to my mind was
That was the one with Don't
Transformers.
You Want Me Baby, right? Yeah, I remember the other one. I like I Engineer and the one with Heart Like a Wheel and Human. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, Dare was Human League's. I think they were third album.
This is one that broke out though.
Right. Yeah, that was their first kind of their. But before that, they had these two albums that were really dark synth kind of stuff.
Yes, yeah. I've never heard those either.
I know, and they're really good. One's called Empire, and I forget what the other one's called.
Oh wow.
Have you heard the remix of the Streets of Rage theme music yet?
Which Stranger Things?
No,
Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage, the video game from the 90s.
No, I haven't.
I just heard that the other day. I'm like, it's fucking awesome. I'll tell you that. Sorry.
Okay.
The question is, okay,
Yeah.
how many seasons of American Horror Story have you done, as far as all of them?
I was on from the beginning, for instance, season 1.
Okay.
So as a music editor, and we've changed composers along the way, but I've been a part of the show since the beginning.
Okay,
Since the Murder House.
So that means that
You're old school.
Yeah.
you've had an opportunity to say, well, this is my favorite, this is my least favorite. Like, what genre or what season was like something that was the most inspiring for you when it comes to music?
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to music, I feel like Hotel was good.
Really?
It was enjoyable for me. Yeah, we used a lot of great songs. There's some other. I'm trying to think of it.
I used She Likes Revenge.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. It was very reminiscent of Bar Sinister.
Right. Who's the artist?
She Likes Revenge is the name of the band.
Okay. There's another song that we used that.
Some from Bauhaus.
Yeah.
Bauhaus. You lose a lot of old school
There were a lot of tricky edits, music edits that we did in that show. But also Matt Mackwell's score for that season I thought was pretty fantastic too.
Okay.
Yeah.
So where does your band play?
We've not played a gig yet, ever. Yeah. So
You guys
just,
represent the whiskey if you want to play.
oh yeah, awesome.
Yeah, we actually represent the whiskey
Oh, that's cool.
and the straight.
Yeah, we're working on it. It's a duo. It's me and my friend Erica. We've got.
Yes.
He plays
All right.
the pizza box. So.
The band broke up. Actually. The band broke up.
Awesome. But yeah, we gotta